Let me see if I can turn the light off in the room.
All right, peace. We're gonna get started. All right, tonight discussion is going to be on the battle of HERU and Set, the higher self versus the lower self. Let's get it. All right. So we gotta give the notice. Fair Use Act. Purposes of criticism, news, reporting, teaching, and parody. We get our upcoming event, the God Frequency Conference. It's going to be myself, Baba Phil Valentine, Brother Panic, Dr. Lanani, Brother A.A. Rashid, Sister Khadija, as well as the God, B.O.B. You got to be in the house. You got to be in the place to be, for real. This is Sunday, December the 16th, 2018. All right, doors open at 1 p.m. Event from 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. All right, it's $50 in advance, $60 at the door, $25 live stream. We'll be at the Alhambra Ballroom. All right, 2116 Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, New York, New York, 10027. All right, that's Harlem. All right, so get your advance tickets. If you want vending, contact 347-530-4211. For more info, call 646-472-4219. All right, then we got another event the next week. The weekend is 4 days and 3 nights. It's going to be 2018 Winter Solstice Retreat, December the 20th through 23rd, featuring myself, including all meals vegan. All right, overview and preparation for solstice, astrology, water aerobics. Yeah, we're going to do water aerobics. You know why? Because we're going to be in Florida. We plan on being in Florida. This is The Secrets Kept in Nature presents. All right, this is Bree Stay Twisting. All right, and we're going to be right there. Meditation, intention setting, dance, crystal therapy, live wire rapping, workshops, crystal attuning, and alignment, singing bowls, Qigong, Tai Chi, pranic healing, Reiki, all of that. $275 one traveler, $500 two travelers. Location will be in Florida. If you want more information, contact Bree at 917-588-2614. That's 917-588-2614. All right, or hit us up at the website, dralimel-bey.com, calendar of events. Then we doing it again. All right. This is our 18th year. All right. United Washington Didagdamanya. United Nations Indigenous Peoples Organizational Number IPO 2421. Conference March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, 2019. If you want more information, go to www.dralimel-bey.com /calendar -of-events.html. All right, check us out. Now let's get back into what we was discussing last night. he told you about the anterior fontanelle and the posterior fontanelle and how it comes to a cross. All right. And this is the cross that the soul has to bear, which talking about the physical body itself. It is here that for some, the soul enters in at. For others, it enters in at the posterior. All right. It's called the optical bone area. All right. Or as they call it, somewhat near the medulla oblongata area, going towards that area. All right. But for most, it's right there, or for some, I should say, it's right there at the top of the head. For those that have soul, the soul enters in right there and embeds itself inside of the pineal gland, in which that Rene Descartes was right and exact when stated that the pineal gland is the seat of the soul. All right. He spoke about the fact that you had the cerebellar peduncle and the inferior olive area, which symbolizes the lion as it looks like. The ox portion of the brain, you have the eagle, which is the dove, which that came over top of Jesus' head. All of that is symbolic. And then you have the 12 sites on the reptilian portion of the brain, which symbolizes the man. Right? We broke it down as above, so below, as within, so without. And how those four are based on the four children of HERU, Horus. All right? Kebesenuf, Dua, Muti, Happy, and Imseti. The intestines, stomach, lungs, liver, fire, earth, water, air, and those four elements combined becomes HERU, the father of these four. Some call them the brothers of HERU. But this dove, as we seen earlier, signifies regeneration. The dove symbolizes the Holy Spirit of God, and the equivalent in Sanskrit is called prana. Prana is the universal life force energy, which symbolizes the soul principle, in which that comes down is the cosmic regenerative force, and which originally was drawn through the prana tube. And I'm gonna get to the prana tube in a second. Once the soft spot at the top of the head, which is the anterior fontanelle, produces the flow of DMT, which is at birth. We have a good supply of birth, a good supply of death, and in between, sometimes not very much, unless you're doing heavy meditations, energy modality work, and those types of things. What are the fontanelle? Well, the soft spot at the top of the head that allows the head to pass through the birth canal. They allow the brain to grow in the skull before fusing together. This is not special care, but there is no special care, but the baby head should be protected because that symbolizes X marks the spot, because that is where the soul enters in at, as you see here. All right, and it is the cross. So all good Christians, when they sing at the cross where I first saw the light and the burden of my heart rolled away, rolled away. God damn it, that's what they talking about. That is the cross that you have to bear, is the physical body. Don't let anyone tell you differently, because we see arm, leg, leg, arm, head, or arm, leg, arm, supreme head. Talking about the physical body, it is the body that the soul has to bear. That is the yoke of the soul, is the physical body. All right. 1 Corinthians 3:16 states, do you not know that your body is the temple of God? So the God is your soul. All right. And the link, as we talked about just a few moments ago, was talking about that connection known as your silver cord or your etheric cord. Now, this is Rosicrucian information, biblical information, which correlates to Ecclesiastics 12:6, or even the silver cord be loosened, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. The silver cord in metaphysical studies and literature, also known as the life-giving linkage, that's what molds you to your body, molds. All right, linkage from the higher self, the Atma, down into your physical body. All right, the cord not only serves as a link between the two bodies, the ethereal body or spiritual body and the physical body, but it also limits the astral body from wandering great distances. Now, some people can see this cord, some cannot. All right, if you had a if you came out regular birth, then oftentimes you can see, which means through the vaginal canal, then oftentimes you can see this cord similar to the umbilical cord. However, if you came out and was cut through a C-section, then oftentimes you see no cord. For you, oftentimes it doesn't exist. So when you hear that, so when you hear people say that there is no such thing as silver cord, I've spoken and built with a couple of brothers who said there is no silver cord, even though, you know, the teachings in which that we've probably all studied state that there was. All right. For example, at the brother, the guy, Jerry Miller, just 2 weeks ago, said in a lecture. All right, as well as also Kalindi Ihi, the guy Kalindi Ihi, he spoke about it and said that in for our Blow documentary, in which that is coming out soon. So watch out for that. All right, we're gonna have that out in 2019. All right, so the silver cord is also a transversible wormhole. It's a wormhole. This is where people be going through the wormhole. Some people say they go through a tunnel. This is what they're talking about, is the silver cord. Passing through a tunnel is compared to a birth canal, and the silver cord resembling the umbilical cord. There are a few observable or observations during out-of-body experience that they are sometimes likened to childbirth. Birth theories hypothesize that the people who were delivered by cesarean sections do not have tunnel experiences during astral projections. All right, so this is the same exact thing that we just finished talking about. Get the book Astral Dynamics by Bruce. Matter of fact, Astral Dynamics, this is a book that is oftentimes spoken by Brother Panic. He tells everybody to get this book, right? Robert Bruce, right? So check it out. And of course, you have what's called Sutra, the Sutrama, or life thread of the Antakarana, as it is called. All right, those are the Vedic terminologies, Sanskrit terminologies for what is called the silver cord, all right, or the ethereal cord. And the reason why we're talking about it, because this is connected directly to what's called the pranic tube. Right now, during other golden ages, we naturally breathe prana, and we breathe it not just through the nose. This is why we have a soft spot at the top of our heads as babies. This is where we would naturally breathe it in from. But pranic breathing is not a part of standard reality for most people. So therefore, so our bodies forget, and our skulls hardened and closed up. Hence, we became hard-headed, just like your grandma told you, go sit your little hard-headed ass down somewhere. But even though we no longer breathe in through our heads and perineum, we still need prana to survive. We have primarily been taking prana in through normal breathing, all right, through the nostrils, inhale and exhale, and also secondary means from the food that we eat, as well as also primarily also from the sun hitting our skin. All right, so as we have been eating less and less natural foods and polluting our atmosphere, we have been ingesting even less quantities of this life force energy. And this is apparent by the physical, mental, emotional, psychological, and spiritual disease that is rampant on planet Earth. The yogis know about prana, of course. If you have been studied, all right. Oh yeah, Talib Bey, thank you, appreciate that. Much respect, much respect. All right. So most yogis do not know that the proper pranic breathing is not done with your lungs; it is done through your prana tube. Right. Your prana tube is roughly the size of a fluorescent tube. It extends directly through the center of your body, through your pineal gland and perineum. It does not bend with your spine. Is normally extend one hand length above the head, connecting you to your crown cosmic chakra and the apex of your male tetrahedron of your macabre. And it is extended one hand length below your feet, all right, connecting you to the earth, your mother, and the apex of your female tetrahedron of your macabre. Now, depending on your level of consciousness, which we spoke about the fall of man and how we fell for infinite consciousness, hence the mind, all right, and how the mind fell on various levels or density states. So we fell from infinite consciousness into magnetic consciousness, into super consciousness, into subconsciousness, into life consciousness, into intrapersonal consciousness, into interpersonal consciousness. Right? 7 stages of consciousness, we fell. Right? So this planitude can extend greater or lesser than this distance to just above the surface of the earth and a few inches or feet below, or it can connect to the very core of the earth. It can also extend inches, several feet, or several thousand miles above your head. This prana tube is also the pathway by which the Kundalini energy or life force raises through the base of the chakra, up through the various energy centers, chakras of the body, melanin centers, into the crown, opening the being up to cosmic consciousness, infinite consciousness. Right? You breathe this life force energy up from the earth to your heart chakra and down from the cosmos or cosmic above into your heart chakra. It is a continuous flow. You reintroduce your body to this type of breathing that and it is, that is actually has been forgotten, so that your body will automatically breathe this way all the time if you practice. After about 3 weeks of practice of breathing this way, your body will do it automatically. So breathe the prana through your pineal gland activates this fourth eye, all right, which looks up to the cosmos, which in turn alters your consciousness. Right, this pranic pineal center is the center of your consciousness. Above the pineal gland, this galaxy-like cloud, right? So breathing consciously in this manner centers you in a profound way. It also activates and balances all of your chakras, thus creating balance. Now, there are some who say that you need to dissolve your prana tube, right? But why would you do that if you can develop your macabre, your merkaba, right? And this integral to this is breathing at the heart center, shifting your focus from your solar plexus, the psychic and power center, to the love center. And this is a shift from third dimensional perception to fourth, fifth dimensional unity consciousness perception, which enables compassion and understanding. Right. And we're going to get more into the heart chakra. All right. But this was an interesting thing, is that the same area in which they speak of that the Kundalini energy comes up through the chakras, through what they call that pranic tube. Well, you have the pineal gland, which symbolizes the Joseph's secretes the milk, all right? And the pituitary gland, which is Mary, secretes the honey, both from the same source, right? The colostrum, which is symbolic to what we refer to as Santa Claus. All right. So this is the rising, the chrism, Santa Claus, Joseph, Mary, and the crucifixion. So what we find is that the Eta, red, and the Pingala, blue, the two nerve fluids were at the crossing of the medulla oblongata. The crucifixion takes place where it rests for 2.5 days. This is similar to the 3 days and 3 nights that Jesus was in the sepulchre. And the psychophysical germ, the fruit of the tree of life, is born in the solar plexus, the manger. The two, all right, now the two sacred oils travel down into the solar plexus via the what they call the vagus nerve, right? It's called the semi-lunar ganglion pneumogastric nerve, or the vagus nerve. All right. And this is where the psychophysical germ, which is called the fruit of the tree of life, is born in the solar plexus, the manger. And this sacred oil returns after the crossing, the crucifix, and it enters the cerebellum, Golgotha, the place of the skull. All right. This is called Mount Calvary. This is where Jesus got crucified at after he reached the age 33, similar to the 33 vertebrates. The fluid Christ chrism is refined 1,000 times fold, right? And when the Kundalini gets a hold of this, all right, then these two forces, symbolic to what we call the Black Madonna and Child, do its thing in the body, right? Because we know that this seed, word, and God are all synonymous, of one and the same thing, this wonderful creative substance, the universal essence from which all things were brought forth and in which all things are, right? The Kundalini brought forth this is her child in you, in which that helps. The scriptures and the allegories and the parables of the Bible are the only writings that give us information as to what the word of God is. Therefore, in this book, we will quote on what it is there is, in regard to it. And the seed is the cause, the nucleus of everything. Therefore, a seed is the beginning, and in the beginning was the word. And the fluid oil, or marrow, all right, which flows down the spinal cord, comes from the upper brain, the creator, or the father, the most high God, also called Ptah, all right, and is known in physiology as ovum, or the generative seed, that life essence, which creates the human form of corruptible flesh. All right. Now I'm gonna show you also the power of this seed, all right, because this seed is birthed from the same place as Kundalini. In the Greek from which that the New Testament was translated, this marrow is called Christ, which is the Greek word for oil. Hence the reason why you must be anointed. The word anointed within Greek means oil. When this oil is refined, transmuted, lifted up, raised, it becomes so highly vitalizing that it regenerates the body and overcomes the last enemy, death. This is what those scriptures is talking about. But see, this is not what's being taught. So this is the sanctity, the sanctified, the consecrate at the inner sanctum, all right, the womb, the tomb of the brain, the third ventricle, which is the holy of holies, right? And active production of this spinal fluid, CSF, requires energy to cause the cells lining in the ventricles to secrete salt into the ventricles, all right? You have 5 ventricles. And the root word sal is where we get salvation, salivation, the salt of earth. Salt saves, hence preserves. All right, let's go down a little bit further in your Bibles, because we go buys the Bible, because we're trying to be the bridge for those who have actually read the Bible and not just went buys the Bible. All right, but here, Matthew 5:13-16, it says salt and light. So salt and light are connected. It says you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how then can be made salty again? It is not longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on the hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine. All right. So, good old Christians have the song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, yeah, you're gonna let that aura shine. And this is what may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. All right. Now, see, y'all thinking of this spooky shit. This is the reason why, allegorically and esoterically, you miss the points. Right? The Father in heaven is your pineal gland, your soul embedded inside your pineal gland. That is Ptah, the Father. All right. And what we find is that this Holy of Holies is your head, your kingdom, your dome piece. All right. And what we find out is that that the difference between humans and fireflies is that 90% of heat escapes from the top of the head of the humans, what's called bioluminescence. And guess what? This is actually because we can no longer, or we don't consciously transform the heat into Luciferian and Luciferase energy, or what is called ATP, the energy in which that give us the ability in order to emit light, this little light of mine. All right. Even the god Kambada had a song on his album. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. All right. So big ups to the brother Kambada. All right. So you don't know who he is, go and check him out. All right. So just talking about the heat that escapes from the top of the head of the humans, and in fireflies, it contains 90% of the heat. So you have to learn how to contain the heat, not let it out from the top of the head, which is transferred in light, all right, transferred into light in the body. If you was able to keep that 90% and then allow only 10% of heat to escape the body. In fact, the same substance that allows bioluminescence, deep sea fish, and microbes to light up as well, such as eels, all right, and etc., fireflies, is this same energy, all right, you possess, right? So this is why when this energy is released, and if you don't raise that seed every month, because this happens every 28 days. So yes, every 28 days, just like the woman have a menstrual cycle, every 28 days or every month or so, the woman is able to raise that oil. All right. And when you're done, and when it's done properly, you become illuminated, become an adept, a master. Who's the master? All right. That's what's going on. Okay. You don't believe me? Get the book, The Four Gospels, esoterically interpreted by John P. Scott. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and is give of light to all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before man that you may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. In other words, the higher or spiritual self is the light of our little world, the body. Hence, earthling. The earth is covered in 75% water, 25% earth, dirt. Man is 25% clay, dirt, and 75% water. All of the light and spiritual persons together are the light which illuminate the outer world. And the city that sat on the hill means the state of consciousness that is very high, cannot be concealed from others who has spiritual sight. This is because of the light radiation from which a person, this spiritual light or radiation, is the sign of the master mason or initiate. It cannot be hid, but shines forth so that all who have spiritual eyes can see it. This is why Mason's always saying, you got a lot of light on your car. I ain't worrying about the light on my car, I'm worried about the light within. This is the sign whereby one master mason may recognize another in darkness as well as in the light. It is not good to repress what light we have because the world needs it. Christ said that if we have the true light, it will shine through our good works, and we will bring many to a higher understanding, to our everlasting rewards. All right, so this is verification in the Bible. Genesis 32:30, and it says, and Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. And for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. They go to preserve again, the salt. And it happens from where? From out of the Holy of Holies, the third ventricle, as said earlier, and it's the pineal gland. The pineal gland oversees the third ventricle. All right, Hosea 13:4, yea, I am the Lord of thy God from the land of Egypt, and thou sayest, no God but me, for there is no Savior besides me. Right, melanin, carbon, which is heavily produced in the pineal gland, is the chemical key to all life. It is even metaphysically addressed in the Bible. Yes, it is. Called the pineal equals the pineal. All right, one and the same. And so the pineal gland is an actual eye that has 144,000 magnetic crystal or quartz diamond sand-like particles on it, right? And the third eye also oscillates at 144 hertz or frequency. The ancients taught that there are 144 chakras. The crown chakra is said to be 1,000 times more powerful than the lowest 6 chakras. So when you add up the lowest 6 chakras, you get 4, 6, 10, 12, 16 plus 96, which equals 144. Then you times 144, all right, times 1,000, you get 144,000. Hence, when you relieve yourself from karmic debt, self-judgment, you will emit the highest frequency of light and will no longer have to return to this realm of form. All right? This is what the pineal gland can do for you. All right? The pineal gland is a reddish gray and even the size of a grain of rice or kernel of corn or a shell pea, hence the term, origin of the term pea brain. All right, 5 to 8 millimeters, weighs from 50 to 150 milligrams. The gland is most active during childhood and begins to atrophy. All right, atrophy means it shrinks. All right, and this happens around the age of 7. All right, becoming calcified in adults. All right, and this is 5 to 15% Africans. Right, 15 to 25%, or 20 to 25% Asians, and then 60 to 80% Europeans. All right, and this is called Calcut microcrystals in the human pineal gland. This is what you're looking at here. All right, in Revelation 7:4, it says, and I heard the number of them which was sealed, and that which was sealed was 144,000. Now the double helix DNA is 144,000 genes. You see how this all correlates? This is no coincidence. See, this is mastery of metaphysics. And so what forms these building blocks of life is adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, which are the 4 building blocks of life. All right. And who is the builder? The God Ptah is the builder. All right. He's the space, the mass, the womb, and DNA, followed by the God determinative. All right. And that's who it is, which will be what you refer to as Yahweh, Yahweh. When you break down the chemical response of carbon in the body, it equals 666, or Yahweh, which would be the tetragrammaton. Yahweh equals DNA. All right. So your body, all right, incarcerates or incarnates the soul principle, right? It's prism or prison. You get it? Prism, prison. All right, that's what's going on. And it is done by way of release of this through the oil or hormonal balance, which comes through the 7 chakras or the shankaras or the oritus, also known as your endocrine gland system. Hormonal balance. The hormones must be in balance, and this is what produces this oil in which that the kundalini raises up, in which that creates the illumination that give you the light that shines. For you be the light to the world. All right, so right here, we're looking at the gonads. We're looking at the testes for the male, the ovaries for the woman, the uterus and the prostate gland for the male. You have the pancreas as well as also the spleen. You have the adrenal glands. You have the thymus gland, the parathyroid, thyroid glands, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland. These are the 7 major hormonal ductless glands in your body. All right. And so we talked about how when the seed comes up through these various centers, it is along also that pranic tube, as we spoke about, which correlates to the spine, except it does not bend, in which that this creates this fantastic illumination. So right here, Revelation 1:16, it says, in his right hand he held 7 stars, and coming out of his mouth was a sharp double-edged sword. His face was like a sun shining in all of his brilliance. Right? Remember, we showed you the face shining in all of its brilliance. Right? There it is right there. There go the face shining in all of its brilliance. This is the transfiguration that they spoke of, that Moses was on Mount, all right, on the mount, in which that he seen Moses and Elijah, all right, and one of the disciples, I think, was Peter, who was there, and he was transfigured, right? So that's talking about the transfiguration, because the mount is talking about Mount Golgotha, which is the back of the skull, on back of the head, which is called the place of the skull. Right. So the mysteries of the 7 stars from which you saw in his right hand, and of the 7 golden lampstands is this: the 7 stars or the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands or the 7 churches. It's the 7 chakras. All right, Shankaras. And we know that we spoke of the 7 states of consciousness, the fall of man. So if you can fall, that means you can rise up, you can ascend. All right, so we got the levels of the brain frequencies that correlates to certain tones, as well as those conscious levels. All right, we have gamma wave through 32 to 100 hertz. We have beta wave 16 to 31 hertz. We have SMR waves 12.5 to 15.5 hertz. We have moon wave 7.5 to 12.5 hertz. We have alpha wave 8 to 15 hertz. We have delta wave 4 to 7 hertz. We have delta waves 0.1 to 3 hertz. The levels of the brainwave frequencies, which correlates also with the tones and the sounds, all right, which give you consciousness with the breath of life, because the breath is the mind in action. The breath is what takes you there. I take you there. All right, y'all don't know about that. That's old school. But the breath takes you there. All right, the breath rise, the soul rise upon the breath. All right, this is what Grand Master Sunyata Saraswati told me. All right, so here we're looking at the base, which is the root chakra, the C note, the sacral, the D note, the which also correlates with the navel, the solar plexus, the E note, the heart, the F note, the throat, the G note, the third eye, the A note, and the crown, the B note. All right, so we gave you a secret on how to break the Schumann resonance, all right, and how to ascend. Normally, the Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz. However, the Schumann resonance shot up a very high, all right? It was what, last year around this time, wasn't it, Queen? It was around last year this time when the Schumann resonance shot up to about, how high was it? You remember? About 19, if not even higher, hertz, all right, for a short time. And is the set of spectrum peaks at the extremely low frequency, ELF, portions of the Earth electromagnetic field spectrum. Now, the Schumann resonance, or global electromagnetic resonance, generated and excited by lightning discharges in the cavity formed by the Earth surface and the ionosphere. There's no coincidence that when you read the Ankh book by Nur Ankh Amen, and introduction by Queen Afua's husband, Samaj, HERU Samaj, they speak of the fact that heaven is an ionosphere, and that the mirror-like portion of the ionosphere is identical to everything that's on Earth. It's a mirror. And everything that's here on Earth, no matter how faint it is, shows up there in the ionosphere. This gives us the reason to know that our ancestor still lives on, because you have what is called 21 grams, all right, or 21 ounces, excuse me, and 7 grams in which that is released from the body. This is your electronic emissions in your breath. The soul, which is your electronic emission, rise upon the last exhale of the breath, and it travels up into what we call space or the heavens, the atmospheres. You have 7 atmospheres, and the ionosphere is one of those 7 atmospheres in which that it goes up. It's 50 to 375 miles up in the sky, right? You have the magnetosphere, the mesosphere, the stratosphere. You have the troposphere, and you have these various spheres, but there's 7 of them. And the ionosphere is where our ancestors go when what they call purgatory. The Catholics refer to it as purgatory, went to incarnate again. And so unless you can break the earth velocity, which is 7.83 hertz, all right? Now, this is the science. All right, so the Schumann resonance does affect our health. The pulse of Mother Earth is powerful. This is Cynthia McKenzie. All right, this is August 20th, 2018. And she writes, the Schumann resonance is the pulse of the Mother Earth. This heartbeat refers to the frequency of the electromagnetic fields of the Earth. This natural frequency pulsation of 7.83 hertz was discovered in 1954 by German physicist and Professor W.O. Schumann. They also refer to it as the human resonance. Right? The Schumann resonance is not a new phenomenon. Earth has been pulsating exactly at 7.83 hertz for thousands of years, but now it has changed. Many ancient civilizations were also familiar with the Earth resonance, and ancient Indian rishis called this pulse and the number has a great meaning. In Hindu religion, this particular name or number, excuse me, is sacred and associated with the cosmic sound, right? So 7.83 hertz, right, with the cosmic sound. Right, so you have what's called the primordial cells, right? Now, the Earth now is about 13.13 hertz, which awakens the primordial cells potential. Right, this is what happens when the Earth reaches that level and stay at a consistent level of 13.13 hertz. This is why there's an awakening on the planet Earth right now. And you have the octave 5, which is 210 hertz, 4, 105 hertz, 3, 52.52 hertz, 2, 26.26 hertz, 1, 13.13 hertz. All right. So what happens is that these primordial cells, or the cells in which that also correlate to the 8 cells that never changes your whole entire life. But we'll get to that in a second. But here, when the Earth heartbeat is sustained at 13.13 hertz, the energetic harmonic wave of the Earth heartbeat will resonate the divine template of humanity's primordial cells, ultimately creating a catalyst of a quantum phenomena event in our DNA. Our primordial cells are our original 8 cells of life. And these first 8 cells that was formed after fusing with the egg and sperm and subsequently cellular replication. These 8 original cells that are positioned in between your base and sacral chakras are maintained throughout your lifetime via the holographic field of your crystalline matrix, auric field. All right. So what happens is that these primordial cells, the powerhouse of chi, your kundalini, all right, these primordial cells are in intelligent storage or storehouse of physical and manifest chi. where the unmanifested potential becomes manifest, where energy emerges as matter, where sound, light emerges into form, where we choose to live a soul realized life, we activate our emotional chi, higher heart, that's your thymus gland area, and becomes a direct conduit of mental chi, infinity, intellect, or intelligence via the pineal gland along our hora line, right, which is near the navel area. We then have the capacity to consciously harness our manifest chi of our primordial cells. Our primordial cells have a resonance divine template frequency of 210 hertz, which musically corresponds to the note G. When the Earth heartbeat sustained a global resonance of 13.13 hertz due to the movement of energy in harmonic octave, the 1313 hertz frequency triggers the divine template of our primordial cells to resonate at 210 hertz. The flow of energy in harmonic octave from 13.13 hertz to 2626 hertz to 52.52 hertz to 105 hertz, and finally then to a resonance of our primordial cells at 210 hertz, provides an amazing quantum potential for humanity. All right, so check this out. Also get the book, The Healing Sounds of Color, to understand even the octave more, which we went over a little bit right here. As you see, the base chakra is red, sacral, navel is orange, solar plexus is yellow, heart is green, throat chakra is sky blue, third eye is indigo, crown chakra is violet. All right, so we know that there's symbolically 3 areas in the body. You have the 3 dantians. All right, you have your lower dantian, which is near this area that they're speaking of. This is symbolic to the hell, all right, of your abdominal dantian, your lower dantian, all right, the pits of hell, as it is called. And then you have your heart chakra, which actually is the earth, the middle dantian. Then you have the upper room, or the head dantian, also called the crystal palace or crystal city, mentioned in the book of Revelations, which is your heaven, the upper dantian. Right, this is the upper room that Jesus went to the disciples, symbolic to the 12 pericranial nerves. So what we find is that the root chakra symbolizes the so-called devil or evil. All right, the devil is the word double because it is basically the murky ethers. It looks like your higher self, but is your lower self. The lower self is the animal survival instincts, the ego. All right. So the reason why they say you're messing with the devil, the Kundalini is the devil, is because the Kundalini dwells in the sacral bone area, in which that you must raise up, transforming Lucifer or the Luciferian energy into Christ or Christos or Crystal, all right, at the pineal gland. But even then, the bone is called the sacrum, the holy bone. The name sacrum originates from the Latin word sacrum and translated into Greek herion or osteon, meaning the sacred or strong bone. So it does come from the word sacred. In Indian spiritual systems, the area around the sacrum is seen as the seat of Kundalini. The word Kundalini comes from the Sanskrit word kundal, meaning coiled up, or kunta, which means bowl, golden bowl. That's the golden bowl that they're talking about that we just read about in Ecclesiastics. It is seen as the primordial dominant energy presented in the 3.5 times coiled at the base of the spine in a triangular bone called the sacrum, often visualized as a coiled snake or cobra. According to the text, Kundalini, which means serpentine fire, is associated with the divine mother, Shakti, and the earth. One of the primal goals of traditional yoga practice is the uncoil, release, all right, of the feminine energy at the base of the spine, which can then travel up the central energy center, Sushumna, to unite with the masculine energy of divine father, Shiva, Shakta, and the universe in the 7th crown chakra. This union of opposites is the essential meaning of yoga, to unite or yoke, bring together. This is your religion. The word religion means to tie, to bind, to bring back. and is the powerful symbol of pretty much of all cultures. So when you talk about that you practice a particular religion, it's supposed to be yoga. It is supposed to be time back your lower self to your higher self. All right. And so, like we was talking about, from this particular area of this sacrum, you have the holy colosseum producing the chrism or crystals in oil, which falls down to the spinal column, 33 vertebrae, to the sacrum or sacred fluid. And Santa Claus brings the gifts, presents down the chimney is the origin of the Christmas story, the holy colosseum. And this is why we talk about this, because we got that coming up very soon. But we know that when the Kundalini and this divine oil comes together and combined, it becomes the Black Madonna and Child. Oh yes, it does. Oh, yeah, I bet you all Robinson tell you this shit. All right, so in the East Asian practices, the sacral area is associated with the lower dantian or dantian Chinese, dantian Japanese, literally translated as fill of elixir, and yohara, and they use the word elixir to refer to the same Kundalini energy. In practice such as Qigong, Taoist, yoga, and Zen, instead of awakening this energy and just allowing it to raise up the spine, they practice balancing between the raising and the descending energies, the yin and the yang, by learning how to move it up the back and down the front of the body in a complete circle. This is symbolic to the snake swallowing its tail, or what's called the aurora boreas, right? This is known as the microcosmic orbit. Right, here it is on the walls of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians already taught this. The serpent biting his tail. This is also the symbol in the Theosophic Society under Madame Blavatsky. All right. But here it is, the serpent biting his tail. In the Mayan culture, symbolic to the serpent biting his tail, or as you see here, the serpent raising up, right? And here it is, these 8 dividing cells, which is called cellular division, called bachelor pores, or the 8 dividing cells of mitosis. In the Metu Neter, they're called the Ogadad. The 8 deities who were arranged in 4 females and 4 males. The 4 females were associated with the snakes, and the 4 males were associated with the frogs. Right? You had Nunet and Nu, Amenet and Amun, Kaket and Kuk, and Huet and Huh. Right now, you had Atum, who had Shu and Tefnut, and Shu and Tefnut had Gabinut, and Gabinut had Osar, or Set, Set, and Nebhet. Right, so those become the 8. Right, and these 8 is what produces your whole physical body into existence. And these 8 cells never change your whole entire life, as we made mention of. And here, this is what brings forth your DNA, the chain, the link of your DNA. This is symbolic to the link around your DNA, all right, which is called the nucleosome B, all right, of the 8 headstone molecules, all right, 148 base pairs of DNA, if I'm not mistaken, 140 something there, I can't see, but DNA strands. But there it is. This is the snake wrapping around the egg. The egg of life is talking about those eight divine cells of mitosis that form the physical body into existence. And then as it Kundalini raises up, it goes and attaches itself to another egg, which is known as this, that's the serpent. And then it goes and attaches itself to the thalamus, the golden egg that sits above the pineal gland, in which that brings forth this cerebral fluid, which is called the CSF, or the central nervous system, CNS. That is the area. It is also referred to as the cosmic egg. And the cosmic egg motif is the major symbol in creation myth, all right, occurring in all parts of the world, all right. Johnny Boy's son, appreciate that, God. Always supporting. I appreciate you. I got to know who you are, God, before we can send some things to you, because you always support it. Appreciate that. All right. So the ancient Egyptians saw the cosmic egg as the soul of the primordial waters out of which creation arose. All right, and we know that. All right, the sperm unites with the egg nucleus. The tail breaks off. The head of the sperm blows up to the equivalent size of the nucleus egg. The two merge and forms cellular division, and then it goes into 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? And it forms the physical body into existence. All right. And so it's an aspect within the Ogadas is the cosmic egg from which all things are born. All right. This is what it says. It says before the gods were created, an aspect within the Ogadad is the cosmic egg. Right? This is through a series of prolonged rituals, the water becomes so hot that it gives birth to a golden egg. Right? This is what it's talking about. So life comes from the cosmic egg. The sun god Ra was born from the primordial egg in a stage known as the first occasion. Okay. I only think of you on occasion. That's day and night. Oh shit! Now that's the occasion. Oh, come on, shake it. Make it right. Oh shit! Now that's the first occasion, right? So one of the earliest ideas of egg-shaped cosmos comes from some of the Sanskrit scriptures. The Sanskrit term for what is known as the Brahmanda. The Brahmanda, which is derived from the two words, right? Brahm, as in Brahmin, or Abram of your Bible, right? Which means seed or father of many nations, all right? Means cosmos or expanding, and anda means egg. Certain prana, such as the Brahmanda Purana, speaks of this in detail. You have the Greek mythology is called the Ophic egg. In the ancient Egyptian Ophic tradition is the cosmic egg from which hatched the primordial hermaphroditic deity Fan and the protogonus, which variously equates also to Zeus, Pan, Metis, Eros, Erika, Panios, and Bramidos, who in turn created the other gods. In the myths of Pangu, developed by the Taoist monks hundreds of years after Lao Tzu, the universe began as an egg. The god named Pangu, born inside the egg, broke into two halves, and the upper half became the sky, and the lower half became the earth. This is symbolic to the sky goddess Nut and the earth god Geb. Right? And this is talking about Pangu, is talking about Atum. Atum was created on the mound from out of the waters, primordial waters of Noon. Same story told over and over again, whether it's in the Taoist, whether it's in the Greek mythology, whether it's in the Vedic Sanskrit teachings, it doesn't matter. It's the same. And the God grew taller, and the sky and the earth grew thicker and were separated further. Finally, Pangu died, and his body parts became different parts of the earth. Okay? Now, we talking about the Kundalini and this egg. Well, the ancient Egyptians called this Kundalini Sata. You put an N on it, it's Satan. Right? Now, we know what the Bible tells you in Genesis 3:1-15 says, and he, serpent, said unto the woman, yea, have God said, ye shall not eat up every tree of the garden? And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for God doeth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And the woman said that the serpent beguiled me. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast in the field. Upon thy belly shall they go. And as you see, Sata had legs. So now his legs was cut asunder, and now he had to crawl on his belly in the S shape, symbolized as electricity. Also symbolized as the fact that the snake shed his skin, which symbolizes to be born again. Upon thy belly shall thou go, and thus shall thou eat all the days of thy life. Now, we see that as something bad in which that is being said here, but however, in the Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani, translated by E.A. Wallace Budge, chapter of making the transformation into the serpent, Sata, it says a man could become immortal like Sata. Remember, you shall become like one of the gods. That's what the serpents told her. So a man can become immortal like Sata by what? Repeating prayers to identify himself with the Neter god, the great serpent Sata, son of the earth. In other words, the son of man, just like Jesus was called the son of man, was immortal because he was regenerated every day in the womb of the sky nature goddess Nut. And just like Sata, Jesus was called the Son of Man. Read the New Testament, John 3:14, and it said, Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. In 1979, Elaine Pagels published a popular book called The Gnostic Gospels, which she details the suppression of some of the writings found in the Nag Hammadi by early bishops of the Christian church. And because they worshipped the serpent, all right, the Kundalini. But they got you, oh no, oh, that's the devil. You ain't supposed to be fucking with that serpent. Well, if you want to gain immortality, you better do something. Osiris, which is Asaru Ani, whose word is true, saith, I am the serpent Sata, who years are infinity. I lie down dead. I am born daily. I am the serpent Sanenta, the dweller in the utmost parts of the earth. In other words, in the Kundalini, which resides in what we call in the abode, the sacrum chakra, or the sacrum. And as it raises up through the spinal column, it can branch out, if you do the microcosmic orbit, through the body, creating what we call the meridians. All right, you have two main meridians called your conceptual vessel and your governing vessel. And then you have 6 on your left side and 6 on your right side. These is called your meridians. Right? I lay down in death. I am born and I become new. I renew my youth every day. No, Satanta, Satan, or Satan, the dweller in the utmost part of the earth, thus derives the concept of Satan dwells in hell. Christianity, this is where they get this from, but it's located in the inward part of the earth, meaning your physical body. So see, they got you believing in shit that they don't understand. This is superstition. All right. Let's do the superstition. Come on. Oh, now come on. You don't know that. That's old school, goddammit. That's old school. Y'all know nothing about the superstition. That you don't understand. When you don't understand. Oh Lord, if you believe in things that you don't understand, that is superstition. Oh Lord, yeah, that's superstition, goddammit. I'm going to tell you right now. All right. So the yogis come up, the Buddhist monks come up, the Taoist monks, the Jainist monks, the Stevie Wonder, superstition. All right. So all of these concepts of being scared of the lowest self, when it's the lowest self that you must raise up, you must redeem the lowest self. You must bring the mother goddess back into the scenario for she can sit back in her rightful place, which is queen of heaven. All right. This is the redemption of the Kundalini, the serpentine fire, the mother goddess principle, the Black Madonna and her child. All right. Back to the Father who art in heaven. All right. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's right. All right. So we find that in the Holy Quran, Circle 7, chapter 36, holy instruction from the prophet, know thyself. It says, know thyself in the pride of his creation and the line uniting divinity and matter. As you see here, this is straight from off the walls of ancient Egypt of HERU and Set, and they are tying the line. All right, that uniting, the line uniting divinity, which is HERU, and matter, which is Set. mother. Father and mother is the line that's being tied. Behold, a part of Allah Himself within thee. Remember thy own dignity, nor dare descend to evil or to meanness. Like so, similar we, Islamism, everlasting gospel, moral science, the old time religion, all of that shit is talking about the ancient mystery school of Egypt. Okay? And if you ain't teaching that, then you ain't teaching shit. So right here we have the chakras. We see the separation of this line, the tying of this line. We see the chakras 1 and 3 equals unity or union between Heru and Set, which is called the Dwat or Twat. All right, realm, lower realm. And then chakra 4 and 6 equals union between the two lands. All right. You have the lower nature, which is the lower self, and then you have the ascension, the higher self. 7th chakra equals the pet realm, which is the dog star, Sirius. This is why it's called the pet, P-E-T, pet. The dog star, which is Sirius. The higher nature, the higher self. This is the star that is on top of your tree when you put it on top of your tree during Christmas time. Yes, it is. Right? Ultimately, there is no such thing as a good and evil. Evil equals live backwards. It is a matter of perception and conditioning. In fact, you are merely worshiping polarity. Lower self, higher self. The ego, the soul. Lucifer, Christ. Good, bad. Disagreeable, agreeable. That's polarity. It's all within you. All right? It's the God in me. All right, you don't know nothing about that. That's Mary. Shit. All right, so we got the auric field. We got the prana tubes that you see here that goes down into the earth up above the sky. And you have the auric field, which is in red around the body. And then you have this that goes around, and that is what is called your belt meridian. This is called the day May. The day May is one of the eight. Once again, one of the 8 ancestral meridians. So from these 8, all right, from these 8 that is inside of you, these 8 will be referred to as the 8 divine cells. Mitosis produces the 8 ancestral meridians that has a very important function in the traditional Chinese acupuncture as regulators of the 12 main meridians. They are called ancestral meridians as they are the main energetic controllers of our genetic ancestry. Hence, they are a very powerful way of influencing genetic-based diseases in the body from the point of view of traditional acupressure. The day May is the only meridian that goes around the body rather than up and down the body. The main functional pathway of the meridian pathway circle the body, starting at the level of the 3rd lumbar vertebrae. It then dips lower as it goes around in the front of the body, so that in the front of the body, it usually passes midway between the pubic bone and the umbilicus. In other words, it's wrapped the body like a belt. When the Dume is dysfunctional, it appears as though the belt tightens. Right? This will eventually lead to the energetic splitting of the body between top and bottom, which can result in major changes in the body shape, usually, but not always, gender related. And women, in a severe case, the women from the waist down will appear thin and undernourished and undernourished. Right? The breast will be physically small, or that if not, and if they were not originally large, then they will lose a great deal of volume and tone. From the waist down, the hips and legs will be large. Men, the opposite would occur for men. From the waist up, they will have large bellies, chest, shoulders. From the top of the hips down, they would be skinny and appear undernutrition, and the legs would be thin and weak. So a healthy Dume, Dame, plays a large role in influencing healthy chi and circulation in the legs. When the changes are this dramatic, it usually means that the person will have quite strong epigenetic disorders. These usually involve the digestive system, particularly the liver and the gallbladder. There would be poor digestive or fast and very strong tendencies of violent headaches, especially migraines. Typically coupled with the migraines would be a form of psoriasis. If untreated, the psoriasis would develop into psoriatic arthritis. Certain variants of type 2 diabetes are also common. The energetic issues involved in Day can manifest in a person needs the tears for frustration, indecision, and lower self-esteem, or typically low liver and gallbladder behavior. People with Day issues tends to repress their emotions and can easily develop psychological complexities, requiring a careful therapeutic approach. All right. So this symbolizes the dual aspect of the soul. All right. And this is what this is, the dual aspect of soul. You have the harmonic aspect, which is HERU, Horus, the fiery aspect, which is Set, Sut. And this is the union, how they look. Unit, you have HERU Set, all right? And Set is at the back of the head of HERU, symbolic to the medulla oblongata. All right, according to Egyptian Yoga, Volume 1 by Dr. Muata Ashby, Set joined forces to tie up the symbol of union, Setma, by Simatawi. This symbol refers to the upper or union of the upper and lower Egypt. Right, this is the red and the white crown in union under one ruler, but also at a more subtle level, it refers to the union of one's higher and lower self. All right, Heru and Set, as well as the control of one's breath, life, through the union control of the lungs, breathing organs. The same as with the image of God, with the two faces and the man and the woman turning in opposite directions. This is God is spirit, man, and matter, mother, woman. And this is symbolic too when you went back to Star Wars and seen Yoda, which is Tahuti or Jehuti or Judah on the back of Luke Skywalker, Luke as in Lucifer, all right? And he becomes an image of the Christ, all right? Because they walk the same path. They are both the morning star in the book of Revelations, okay? Or in the book of Isaiah and the book of Revelations, called the morning stars, which is what is the name of all the angels in heaven, all right? For what people don't realize is that Lucifer might have fell from heaven, but he still has to do the bidding of God. He can't go outside of that parameter no matter what. Okay, and so this is what we find with an inverted five-pointed star, or what looks like a goat. And if you make that inverted star upright into a positive or upright five-pointed star, you will see Yoda's head embedded inside of the symbol. Hence, this is where the concept of Yoda comes from, right? The invert of the devil. Hence, the reason why Yoda is the chosen one, all right? Yoda is the one who does the choosing, or Yoda trains Luke Skywalker to fight against evil. The Jews view this manifest destiny as a battle against evil. The name Yoda can also reflect Yahuda or Judah, first mentioned Genesis 29:35, which based on etymology is provided as meaning give thanks and gratitude. When Leah, the wife of Jacob, who becomes Israel, gives birth to Yahuda, Judah, she says, "Now I give thanks to God." Her son Jehuda is based on the term of Judaism and Jewishness, and Yoda may, however, simply be a transformation of the Hebrew term Yodia, which means literally knowing. All right. Now, for what people don't realize is that Jehudi is the same as Yahuda. Right? Jehudi is Yahuda. So the name that they have in the Bible of the fourth born of Jacob, Israel, is Judah. That is actually Jehudi's name, right? And Jehudi symbolizes he's the writer or scribe of the gods, and he record all of the good and bad deeds of the gods. This is the same when Muslims sit in sajda and they look to the right and say, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. They look to the left, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And who the hell are they speaking to? They're speaking to the angels on the right, right down the good deeds, the one on the left, right down the bad deeds. These are the angels. And this is symbolic to the scribe, which is Jehudi, which actually symbolizes the cerebellums. Right there near the cerebellums, you have the medulla oblongata. And this is where the area is called the area of the recording at, right? And remember, Jehudi's symbol, he has two symbols, mostly the ibis bird, which means the writing. The beak symbolizes the writing of a pen. And then you also have a baboon, and the baboon symbolizes the monkey. And the area in which that this correlates to, which is at the back of the head, is called Gulf, Qoph within Hebrew. And it is known to be the back of the head, the skull, monkey, copy, axe, right? When the Kundalini comes up and hit that area, it make a thunk sound, like you hitting a block. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like you hitting some type of block, a block of wood with an axe, all right? And so that's opening the door, because the medulla oblongata is known as the mouth of God. Right, that's what it's called, the mouth of God. So it's opening the mouth, so it can enter into the crystal palace area up in the brain. All right, so this is the area that it's talking about, and the reason why the monkey or the baboon is the symbol of Tahuti is because monkey see, monkey do. Hear no evil, speak no evil. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. This is what this is symbolic to, and so this monkey copies, because monkey see, monkey do. So this is the copying center of memory, and so hence this is what it's talking about. That is, writes down all the deeds, because this is the copying center in your brain, the medulla oblongata, near the cerebellum. All right. So these are the sciences that we wanted to talk about. And so here you get the books, the Book of the Dead, and the Egyptian Heaven and Hell, the Book of Amtwat, by E.A. Wallace Budge. You get volume 1 and volume 2. Also, the Book of the Dead here is in the British Museum with 25 illustrations, all right, printed by the order of the trustees. And what we find is Tahuti, as you see here, as described, writing down and recording the good and the bad deeds. The heart is being weighed against the feather, all right? And notice that Ampu, Apis, is bringing, all right, is bringing Ani. Now, Ani simply means that symbolizes the spirit of any one of us is Ani, all right? And Ani, which means Anu, which means up there. So what happens is that now your soul is being judged. And as you notice, the heart is heavier than the feather. So therefore, what is happening is that Amit, which is this creature here near, as you see the scales being weighed, this is scales Mayat, a Mayati, double truth. And the feather symbolizes Shu, which is your breath. And the heart symbolizes your emotional state, your guilt, your fears, so forth and so on, which is known as your heart chakra seed atom. Your seed atom is in your right ventricle of your heart. And what happened is that all your impressions, experiences inscribed upon your heart. All right. And so that is being weighed with the feather, your breath. And animate, which is that creature with the crocodile head, all right, will eat the heart if the heart is heavier than the feather. Therefore, that means that you have to reincarnate or incarnate again and learn more life lessons. If your heart is lighter than the feather, then animate will not eat the heart. You will be able to go forth, with HERU in order to meet or saw, right, as you see here. All right, this is what this is all symbolic to. And the excerpt of the Book of the Dead is written on papyrus and showing the weight or the weighing of the heart using the feather of Mayat Shu as the measure for the counterbalance created by an unknown artist. This is c 1300 BC. All right, this is the scene. All right, and this is Amit, which is right here near Tahuti as he records what's going on. All right, and notice that oftentimes you will find that the heart is always heavier than the feather. All right, this is what this is showing you. All right, it's called the Hall of the Two Truth or the Double Truths, the Hall of Mayati or the Hall of Mayat, the Double Mayati, the Hall of the Judgment of the Double Mayat or the Dual Two Judgment, good and evil, Judgment of Righteousness, the Twat, which is a circle and a five-pointed star, which means the realm of the dead, Saba, which means teachings, instruction. This is where Dr. Sabi get his name from. You have Dua, which is wisdom, the way of living truthfully, correctness, exactitude, weighing and balancing through measurement of the behavior, action, and deeds of aspiring towards being a truer, realer, higher self in life through Maya, truth, justice, balance, reciprocity, order, harmony. All right, these are the laws. So his Animate basically was a demoness or goddess in ancient Egyptian religion with the body that was part lion, hippopotamus, and crocodile, the three largest man-eating animals known in ancient Egypt. All right. So this is why it was used. All right. And as it says, a funerary deity, her titles includes the devourer of the dead, eater of hearts, and great of death. And Animate lives near the scale of the judge of justice in the Duat. All right. And there's no coincidence that the word twat or twat is the same as the woman's vagina, as it is in the realm of the afterworld. All right, because the child comes from that world into the mother, vaginal canal or the uterus area. So hence, we know that the uterus is in the same shape and image of the Ankh. All right, so in the Twat, the Egyptian underworld, in the halls of the two truth, Anubis, an Ampu, weighs the heart of the person against the feather of Mayat, the goddess of truth, which is depicted as an ostrich feather. The feather was often predicted in Mayat's headdress, but is also in Shu head too, and Shu symbolizes the breath. All right, so you actually is the scale of Mayat, but actually that feather is not just Mayat, it is also Shu, right, which is the personification of air. All right, which symbolizes the soul being weighed against the heart. So if the heart was judged to be not pure, Amit would evaluate, and the person undergoing judgment could not be allowed to continue the voyage towards Osiris and immortality. Once Animate swallowed the heart, the soul was believed to become restless forever. This was called to die a second time. All right. Animate was also sometimes said to stand by the lake of fire. Right. In some traditions, the unworthy hearts was cast into the fiery lake to be destroyed. Some scholars believe that Amit and the lake represents the same concept of destruction. Now, this same lake of fire is found in your Bible. Right? Animate was not worshipped. Instead, she embodied all of the Egyptians' fears, threatened to bind them to eternal restlessness if they did not follow the principles of Mayat. All right. And here is the lake of fire. The four baboons, which is Tahuti, symbolizes Tahuti symbol, surround the lake of fire in the nether world or in the Duat. Okay. This is what this is. So the concept of the lake of fire that's mentioned in the book of Revelation 20:10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. Now we already know who the devil was. The devil was what? The unworthy hearts, which was cast into the fiery lake to be destroyed. That is the devil that deceived them, that was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophets are and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. That's the restlessness. In other words, to have to reincarnate over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get this shit. Revelation 20:14-15. Then death in Hades was cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. What did we just finish saying the second death was? In some traditions, the unworthy hearts was cast into the fiery lake, and some scholars believe to be destroyed, and some scholars believe the animate and the lake represents the same concept as destruction. But it also says that right here, if you go up one, animate will devour it, and the person for undergoing judgment was not allowed to continue their voyage towards Osiris, which is Osar, and immortality. Once animate swallowed the heart and soul was believed to be restless forever. This was called the dead to die a second time. All right, that's what they mean by the second death. That's talked of in the book of Revelation, directly from out of the book of the dead. Directly from out of the book of the dead and the Egyptian hell, heaven and hell. The book of Amtwat. Right? That's just what it is. Right? That's what it is. All right, so we're gonna end right there, and we're gonna come on back. You know how we do, and of course, as we always say, continuing now for days, weeks, months, and years to come, we move toward the most cherished goal of health, wealth, knowledge of ourselves, protection, security, all positive good things, better economic conditions, and full contentment. Every action, enterprise, and endeavor which we wish to be involved with, bringing increasing rewards. We have so much joy and happiness and success and abundance in our life that we're able to help and share with those who are sincere along the way, and we're moving closer towards the wonders of God and Goddess and the release of our full inner higher selves. Ashe. And we out, y'all. Peace.